One that likes cooking?
Red, this snake just lashed out at the bird lady you've been fighting next to, and she hits the deck. And you can see the blackness of the poison welling up where she was struck in the neck.
Venom, technically.
Fine, okay. Venom is welling up in the neck.
Hey, I passed my con save. Can't be that welling. The well's over there, by the way.
I'm sure the well's fine. Yeah, Red, it's your turn.
Oh, no, I just took my turn.
Oh, you did. That was the
Yeah,
snake's turn.
didn't
It's
the snakes
Raazu's
just
turn.
go?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got totally lost.
Attempt to cut this thing down, but can't roll better than a 2, so let's call that a 4, and Raazu cries.
Moving or staying put?
Staying put.
Adrex.
Big cries, huh?
It's a free action.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'd like to perform that same medicine check I did on Bird Lady.
Okay.
That is a... whatever. A 20.
20?
19.
Alright, that stabilizes Windy.
Alright.
Let's see if my NPCs can kill this snake that Raazu refuses to kill.
Not refusing, I'm giving it all I can.
Is
It's
it not
just
backwards for you?
the dice are awful.
Their dice are awful too, as they surround this large snake. They're trying to beat it back into the water, but the thing is just zipping back and forth, slithering out of the way of their blows. And at this point, I guess these ones are being directed by the Elder. And a couple more of these soldiers come trudging from the other 2 watchtowers. These ones had to leave their dogs behind. They can't ride their dogs through the thick sludge.
Sure.
And Birdie,
Mm-hmm.
I wish this was anybody but you.
Uh,
Birdie, I have a 12 to hit.
No. Barely, but no.
A large amount of stone and gravel comes flying up at you and out of the muck in this direction. And you very deftly hit the deck, and it all splatters behind you. But as you're watching, like at first you're thinking it's just the ground is continuing to quake violently and debris is erupting from the earth. That's not what happened. This was thrown from where the well is in the center of this kind of makeshift pond. Although most of the water now is draining in, and you just see the wreckage of the stones of the well laying around in the mud. And it's going to bring us to Birdie. It's your turn.
Can I see anything to shoot?
You have to use an action to make an active perception check.
Mm.
From that position, you can't aim down into the well anyway. You'd have to actually... Here, I'll just put it on the map here. What's funny is I downloaded this map and I actually removed this branch, but then I forgot to use that version of the map when I put it on the grid because I'm good at this game.
So I'll move 20 feet here, and I will shoot this guy.
Okay.
And while I'm frantically shouting, "There's something in the well!" That is a 16 to hit.
I like how you're presuming that Red and or Adrex are your allies. You don't know them that well. No, you put an arrow in this thing, and it slaps back in the water. Is that moving or staying put, Birdie?
I've got 10 feet of movement, so I'm just going to move there.
Okay. Windy, you're stabilized.
Uh-huh.
So you do not have to make a death save.
Darn, now I can't roll that 20. Thanks a lot, Adrex.
Sure. So you're haltingly conscious, and you feel the bite in your neck throbbing with pain, and your vision is blurry, but you see Adrex binding up your wounds. Birdie rushing over to slay the snake that just bit you. Red.
Gonna shoot that snake.
Okay.
Raazu can't deal with it.
Neither can
No
the
sneak
Mastiff
attack.
Riders.
Yeah.
That'll hit an armor class of 12.
12 does not hit. Arrow
That's
goes
the end of
right.
Red's turn.
Red can't deal with it either.
There's a loud thunk as the arrow hits the side of this wall.
Right.
That's going to bring us to snakes. I've only got one snake left. And Raazu, I'll let you spend your reaction so this snake attacks you instead of one of the Mastiff Riders.
Yep, I'll do that.
Could hurt a
Got a
dog.
19 to hit
That'll hit.
for 8 points of piercing damage.
Ooh.
And I need a Constitution saving throw.
That's a lot. That's 20.
20?
No, 21.
21. And 4 points of poison damage.
Raazu's still down.
Still down?
Yeah,
Wow.
even with a half damage, Raazu still goes down.
Raazu collapsed to the ground. Raazu. Go ahead and make dex save.
Yep, doing that now. Oh, nat 1.
2 death
Time
items.
paradox, here we come.
Adrex, you're up. And you
Told
hear
you.
the clatter from behind you as the snake bites Raazu and she hits the ground.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These guys are just chilling here.
If only I knew someone who made healing potions.
2,
If only.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Can you jump across that?
You can.
10-foot strength.
Bam.
Well, you'd have to jump across this way because you need to get a 10-foot run up in a direction to jump in that direction. You can't do a 10-foot run up this way and then turn 90 degrees and jump across. That doesn't make any
Still
sense.
faster.
Yeah, it's probably
Okay.
still faster.
Like,
Unless you're a monk, because monks just don't obey any laws of physics or...
yeah,
You just
Adrex
don't
will
understand the laws of physics we're obeying.
Jump.
It's
And
more-
we'll just jump on the pile of halflings there.
It's more like the physics just don't obey the laws of monk. You can just...
Yeah.
That square's
Bullshit.
fine. You're fine there.
Thank you.
You're fine.
All right. Let's get...
Falling.
Hey, there we go. There's a 17 to hit, as this snake is finally slain. By one of the Mastiff Riders.
Hope they know medicine.
So these ones are still trudging up. Adrex. I get
That's
to
me.
roll at advantage against you.
Why?
Uncalled for.
Don't roll
It's
advantage against me.
Not a very good to hit roll. Same thing as before. Muck and stone and gravel come flying at you from the direction of the well. Most of the water at this point has seeped down into where the well's been split mostly in half. The stone of it has collapsed inward. Something has thrown this in your direction. And you managed to duck out of the way of it, and it just clatters against the floorboards at your feet. That's going to bring us back to Birdie.
Like you hear Birdie in the distance going, "I told you!"
He did tell you.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna hold an action to shoot something when it presents itself as a target.
Okay. Wendy, go ahead and give yourself 1 hit point.
Alrighty.
And you may move and act normally this round.
In that case, gonna drag myself up.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something in the well.
That's what the Kobold's crying out about.
I'm gonna try to perceive whatever it is.
Okay, go ahead and make that perception check.
That's a 20.
A 20. And watching with your glorious, perfect vision,
Yeah.
Thank you, whoever colored this branch out.
Eagle-eyed, some might say.
You think it looks like more snakes slithering about the inside, the interior of the well, trying to do what they can to stay out of sight, out of presence. But they can't possibly be snakes because if they're moving impossibly. They're not slithering like snakes, and you're not sure why or what's so strange about them. You'd have to get right up on the well and look down into it to get more information than that. But Birdie was definitely correct. There's something in the well.
I'm going to try to describe to Red what I saw, because he seemed to think that they were some kind of war snake.
Okay, Red, I'll let you use your action to have this quick conversation with Windy, but this isn't something that you guys can back and forth in 3 seconds.
Okay.
So that's what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make a history check. You can make this at advantage because you are a Yuan-ti.
Is he? I thought he was human.
He's
You
a
don't know
human who
that.
knows about snakes.
That would be a 15.
15. You've seen firsthand that creatures are made that have snakes for limbs. They're these twisted Yuan-ti kind of medical experiments or religious experiments that turn their arms and legs into actual snakes. And these creatures do not escape from Yuan-ti clutches very often. They're kept for their superior combat tactics. But if there's one of those things living in this well, that could be the kind of motion that Windy's describing to you.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, and there is one of these creatures in the well, then this entire village is in much, much greater peril than you at first thought. And it still doesn't account for what caused this earthquake. Are you moving or staying put?
That's the end of Red's turn.
Okay. I don't have any more snakes. Raazu, make a death save.
Raazu's dead.
Adrex.
Time paradox.
What?
Nah, that's happened before.
Adrex, you're the closest one to Raazu. Why does Raazu miraculously not die? What action above and beyond, like heroic effort, does Adrex undertake so Raazu doesn't bleed out on the floorboards?
Oh man, this is pressure.
Tracheotomy! Tracheotomy! Every medical drama is made better with a good tracheotomy.
Only if it's lupus.
Snakeotomy! Snakeotomy!
Take all the snakes out of her! She's got too many snakes!
Adrex sucks the poison out of Raazu?
No!
That seems like a very run-of-the-mill. I need something like heroic,
Shit.
miraculous, above and beyond.
Squeezes the poison out. Big hug.
I mean, if you can't think of anything, then it's time paradox and it invalidates the entire campaign. So in a way,
Wow, thanks.
the integrity of the entire 60, 80, however many sessions rests on you right now.
If anyone's death is gonna not invalidate this campaign, it's Raazu's.
Do the CPR, live, damn it, live.
Is that heroic enough? I didn't think that'd be heroic enough.
I mean, it's not your turn, so just moving over there to stabilize her might be heroic enough.
It's my turn next.
No, right now it's Raazu's turn, but she's gonna die unless you do something right now.
Oh, okay.
She's not gonna live till your turn.
I know.
Take your arm
Adrex shouts, "On your knees, soldier!" Rallying her, trying to rally her, as of some indication of a future ability that he might get.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
On your knees, soldier? What?
Yeah,
off. Now, Riley can't bring people up from
On
unconscious.
your feet.
on your feet, soldier.
You said on your knees, so.
Yeah, but it's Adrex, so on your knees is funnier. 14.
Raazu,
Hey,
what's your max hit points? You can't even have 14 temp
11.
HP. 11? Go ahead and give yourself 11 temp HP and 1 hit point. As
okay.
crying out from behind you, as you feel it, everything blacken, and you go unconscious, and you're thinking, well, this is it. I mean, I escaped from my murderous clan and Southling slavery and all this treachery just to die in the mud. And you hear this
That sounds
voice
about right.
behind you just call out, "On your knees, soldier!" And you're thinking, well, that's a dumb thing to say to
That's
somebody
the
who's laying on
dumbest
the
thing
ground.
ever.
But you realize it's this big, maybe simple-minded Dragonborn with the one who gave his entire day to bail out this seller who's been fighting valiantly and you get the meaning behind his words, and from somewhere you pull together the strength to fight on, and you pull yourself up to your knees, which is what he told you to do.
So that's, you said 14 temp hit points and 1 hit point?
No, 11. You can't have 14 temp hit
okay.
points. 1 hit point,
Okay.
11 temporary hit points.
Alright, cool. Got it.
And you can go ahead and take your turn, but you are prone. You're starting your turn prone.
Okay, have my movement to stand up. Look at Adris like, okay. Whatever you say, buddy. Active perception to see what everybody's looking at here in the middle of the middle of the well
Go ahead and make that check.
area here.
It's a snare set.
There's-
No, what the hell are Snursons? I don't understand. What are you talking about? And
And-
Raazu's turn.
Raazu. I was hoping Windy would have to make this check before Raazu. I need a Constitution saving throw, DC 10.
When he doesn't get in trouble, she gets even.
How'd that save go?
McDohl?
Did McDohl leave us? Is he gone forever?
Oh, was it my saving throw? I
Yeah,
apologize.
your saving throw at the end of your turn.
I thought it was Windy's. Oh.
No, which
Pass.
and you get to your feet, but maybe a little too quickly, and the drink's swimming around in your head. So not only are you filled with snake poison, but also just regular alcohol poison.
Awesome.
But you push off the effects, at least for now. Adrex, your turn.
Wait, that worked? Adrex says in disbelief.
Incredibly convinced.
I got to do that more often. And Adrex wastes no time jumping in the water here.
Okay. I mean, there's very little water. The muck is still very thick. It's still difficult terrain. And you've got this shattered well in the center of this muddy hole. Most of the water at this point is completely slurped out of it, down into the earth.
Adrex peeks in the hole.
All right. And Adrex, peeking into the hole, you see this horrific creature. It looks like at first thought, it looks like an octopus trying to slither its way up the well. It's holding on tight to the sides of the well with 3 long, gangly tentacles. But you realize they're not tentacles. They're snakes that are connected by the tail to this pulsating center mass. A 4th, very sickly limb kind of dangles off the back of it. And the thing rears back and skitters a bit down the side of the well as you approach, but doesn't fall. What's next?
Adrex Adrex will throw his sword down at it. That's what he'll do.
Throw his sword down in the well.
That's an Adrex
At it.
move.
Yeah.
So we're losing your sword. It's gone.
I got 2.
Okay.
That is a 19 to hit.
19 will hit.
Cool.
Improvised what?
7 damage.
For 7 damage. As you fling this sword. How are you throwing it? Like, are you aiming it like a lawn dart and chucking it down, or are you giving it a
That's
good?
how I was thinking. Yeah, it's just like a dart.
And you hear the thing, your sword, rake at this thing's flesh, and it screeches from a mouth somewhere that you can't hear, or that you can't see from your vantage point. And all the rest of you hear just this otherworldly cry of pain from the well as Adrex starts chucking swords down it. Adrex, moving or staying put?
Staying put.
Okay.
It's in here, guys.
And the thing is going to skitter up and out of the well.
Which triggers my held action.
It sure does. And you guys, it doesn't have a head. It has this central body that has this terribly ugly face kind of morphed into it with a lopsided eye. It has a mouth and fangs and where its belly should be. And then coming out of its 4 corners, like if it were a quadruped where its limbs would be, 3 of them are very strong snakes. And the third is a sickly, spindly little nothing snake. How did you do, Birdie?
That's a nat 20
Okay.
because my sneak attack was already recharged.
Yep. Yeah, you can
So
throw all the dice at it.
14 damage.
14 damage?
Mhm.
Okay.
It's not a very good critical hit, but it's a critical hit. It's my critical hit.
And Adrex, it's going to leave your threat range as well.
Cool. I got another sword.
Yeah, you sure do.
That is a 15 to hit.
15 will hit.
4 damage.
For 4 damage. Okay, not enough to kill it. We'll start with Birdie. I've got 2 attacks for you.
Okay.
I've got a 10 to hit
Nope.
and an 11 to hit.
Nope.
And Windy, I've got 1 attack for you.
Yeah.
I have an 18 to hit.
Yeah, I don't think it matters what you. Well, see if you roll 10 damage. Because I want to hear McDohl come up with something good again.
I got
Jeez.
7 points of piercing damage,
No, that's not going to do it.
but you got to make a Constitution save. We'll see how much poison damage you get.
All right, McDohl.
Great.
That's 14 to save.
14. Okay, so you'll take half of 9 is 4 points of poison damage.
Let's hear it, Adrex. What you got for me?
No. See, Birdie's the nearest one to you now. Birdie, what miraculous, heroic thing do you do to prevent Windy from dying at this moment?
Is running the opposite direction. That's not good. Okay. I'm just going to like jump on top of her body and shield her.
You're going to shield her from the bite?
Yes.
How many hit points do you have left?
I have all of my hit points.
So how many hit points do you have left was the question.
8.
8. Go ahead and knock off half your hit points.
Okay.
Windy, you're still a little groggy as you feel the drink swimming around and the poison in your system, and this monstrous thing comes slithering up out of the well and lashes out at the kobold next to you. And you're thinking, if I don't dodge this strike, I'm probably going to. And as that thought enters your brain, the kobold leaps in front of you and takes the bite that was meant for you and shakes it off like it's no thing. You're like, wow, that's the most heroic little kobold. He does not deserve to be whipped by anyone ever. Raazu, I think we're on... No, I'm sorry. Birdie, it's your turn.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to
but-
delete the ones I don't need anymore.
I'm going to stab this. Well, first, let's see if I get my sneak attack, right? I do not. All right, I'm going to stab him with my short sword.
Okay.
That's another crit.
My God.
For 11
Free solo
damage.
snake monster.
11 damage. And this thing is bloodied as you stab it. And describing this thing's movements is difficult because it's basically like a Dark Souls boss, one of those just fleshy, bulbous, black tentacled masses. It's impossible to tell how it's going to move next. So it's difficult to tell where to strike, but nonetheless, you feel your sword slip in and hit something vital. Moving or staying put?
I'm gonna stay right here because I don't want to eat an attack of opportunity.
And Windy, who's still miraculously alive.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and like stab it.
Yep.
With my hands.
Sure. Well, talons.
Yeah. That's a miss, but luckily I did recharge my martial arts.
Martial.
It's probably still a miss though. 11 to hit.
11 is a miss. Are you moving or staying put?
I'm gonna stay put. I'd rather not get owned by a snake today.
When you say that out loud, and Red's like, "Aw." Red, it's your turn.
Just today.
Let's go ahead and move up. Let's try some sneak attack. Nope. And let's try rapier.
Get him.
That'll hit an armor class of 9.
9 does not hit.
Offhand attack. Pull out a dagger. See if
You
this
were-
works better.
All letting me down.
Nope.
That was way worse, and that's a tactic you're probably sure you're never going to try again.
Yeah.
Didn't go well.
It was worthless.
Staying put there?
Yeah.
And Raazu, you're up. And you're seeing this monstrosity over there, and you're feeling like you can probably get bit 1 or 2 more times.
It's gonna take a javelin to the back? Question mark.
It kind of does have a back, because its face is on its belly, and then it's got the scaly bit that's kind of facing you.
Does a 14 hit?
It does.
Okay, then it's gonna take a d6 damage. 6 piercing damage
Okay.
into its back.
And the thing rears back, and the screech, again, is piercing, and it's otherworldly, and you don't like it. Moving or staying put?
I have just a little bit more movement that will get me here.
And this crowd of halflings is watching this battle that's so close here. It's going to bring us to Adrex.
All right. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna stab it in its back.
Yeah.
That's not very heroic.
Do snakes have backs?
Nope. It's a
That's why you
7,
missed.
and
It's
I'm down to 1 sword, so I'm good.
Can you punch it up with your offhand? Is that a thing that's allowed in D&D?
It's 1 damage.
yeah, it's. I think for Adrex it's 3 damage, because I think you add your strength mod.
I do.
Go for it.
Yeah. All right. 3 damage.
Okay.
Proud of you.
And you're staying put there, Adrex?
I'm proud of me too.
Raazu, the Mastiff Riders coming up behind you are starting to tell these people to clear out. Let the heroes do their job. And you've never been called that before. And I can attack.
And they say unless the hedgehog pastures that day, Raazu's heart grew 3 sizes that way.
But it started so small that
Yeah.
Adrex, I got a 13 to hit.
Nope. Need a 16.
Okay. Red, I got a 12 to hit. Why can't I add?
Nope.
Birdie, I've got a 24 to hit.
Okay.
every death was
It's going to
another
be
3 sizes.
5 points of piercing damage.
Okay. I'm
And
down.
I need a Constitution saving throw.
All right. I pass.
Okay, so you're going to
So-
take half of 13, so 6 points of poison damage.
I'm at -7, so I don't quite just die. All
So,
right.
so you're unconscious, but you didn't die
Yeah.
outright.
Right.
All right. Yeah, Adrex, as you're coming up from the back, I mean, this thing is lashing out, panicked now at everything, realizing that they've cut off its retreat, and it's kind of surrounded on all sides. Brought down the Kobold first, which, like, you were kind of expecting.
Yeah.
He's just a Kobold. That's going to bring us to Birdie. Let's get a death save.
Okay.
I'm sorry if you can hear my dogs barking, but she's chihuahuaing right now.
That's a
I'm
1.
sorry.
A 1?
Again.
Failed death save.
Wow.
It's going to bring us to Windy.
All right, let's see if I can finish this guy off.
Can you?
That's why I said let's see. I don't trust anything.
How's
Say
this bunch of
16 to hit.
jabronis?
16 will hit.
As I jump in front of Birdie. I feel fear Terror brought his fair play. That's a 7 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. Yeah, this thing does not have long to go. As you lash out, and the little malformed tiny snake body coming off to the end gets severed and splashes into the water. The thing screeches out in pain again.
Martial arts.
Okay.
Nope, that's a 9.
And there we go. Wendy, I need a Constitution saving throw. DC is 11.
Pass.
Pass. And the drink is starting to catch up with you now, and you're thinking now's a great time to have a lie down, but you don't feel its negative effects just yet. Probably because of all the adrenaline rushing through your system. That's going to bring us to... Are you moving or staying put?
I'll stay put.
Okay, it's going to bring us to red.
Let's see if I get sneak attack back. No. Let's go ahead and try and stab him with a rapier. That'll... No.
Nah.
Let's try and stab him with a dagger.
Okay.
The dice are being so mean today.
I know.
No.
Right?
No.
It's level 0, so... Red, are you moving or staying put?
That's the end of my turn.
All right, it's going to bring us to Raazu.
Raazu vaults over here and then runs south, and she is going to lay into this thing with her halberd.
Okay.
Uh, 9 plus 2 is 11.
11 does not hit.
Bummer. It's the end of Raazu's turn.
Okay. It's going to bring us to Adrex.
Actually, wait. I'm sorry. Actually, time out. Plus 1, 2, 11. Does a 14 hit?
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't going to say anything. Like, I went through all the trouble
Yeah.
of typing that out on her stat block and everything, and...
Yeah, no, I think it... Alright, that's 9 slashing damage to this thing.
9 slashing damage as you bring your halberd down and sever off another one of the thing's limbs. And now, I mean, it just flops around dead on the ground, and now it only has 2 with which to lash out and bite. Moving or staying put?
That's the end of Raazu's turn.
Adrex.
I'm gonna stab it.
Stab it. Do it.
Stab it twice.
That is a 17 to hit.
That'll hit.
4. 7 damage.
7 damage. And that's enough. Stick your sword into the thing and you feel it scrape across bones inside. You give it a good twist and you silence that terrible shrieking. And the thing's body slumps into the muck.
Said as we hear Rydia barking in the background.
Every dog in the neighborhood is barking now.
Good job, Rydia.
No, she wasn't the one that started it. We have a neighbor dog. They just got a new puppy, I think. And it barks a lot. And whenever it barks, Rydia barks. So she didn't actually start
Makes
this.
sense.
The rain is actually coming down very hard now. But it's not pooling up in the areas anymore because this crack that kind of almost bisects the town now is slurping up quite a lot of this water. And what's next?
Stabilize Birdie.
Okay.
Yeah. Adrex stabilizes Birdie.
You do so?
Do we have hit dice at level 0?
No.
Nope.
In the next few moments, it becomes apparent that many of these halflings have been bitten and are poisoned.
Do you know any antidote to their poison?
I don't know, do I? I don't have poison use on my sheet, so...
You don't. It's not something you've really done a lot of, but you do have a lot of these dead snakes, and you're skilled in collecting their venom. So you don't.
Right.
You have the technique, but you don't have all the knowledge that would be required to make anti-venom. If only there were other heroes nearby that had other skills you could use.
I mean, I can
Medicine.
I
don't
can
know.
I can get the venom out of the snake, but I don't know how to turn that into anti-venom.
I have nature too, and survival, and medicine. Could I do something to make anti-venom?
Adrex, as it happens, if you had the venom, you have the knowledge to make an anti-venom and save these lives, but you don't know the technique for milking the venom out of the snakes. If only there was somebody nearby that knew how to do that.
I can help you by making it into a potion.
Red, right?
Yeah.
What if you get the venom from these snakes? If you had the venom, I could get the anti-venom from it.
I can do that.
Try that.
What are Raazu, Birdie, and Windy doing over the next hour or so?
Raazu's calling out to everyone. Anyone who's been injured by these snakes, get them into one place if it's safe to move.
Okay. What about Windy and Birdie?
I'm going to try to gather up some healing herbs that I can apply to them.
Okay.
I guess Birdie will, if he's conscious, he will assist with Adrex and Red as best he can, since he also has, I think,
Okay.
nature and survival.
After an hour or
Need be.
two, the rain subsides, and Raazu, you work with some of the stronger halflings to set up a kind of a quick triage center at one of these houses here. They clear, one of the family helps clear out, and the ones that are poisoned are brought there. Let's have everybody's assisting in this. Adrex, go ahead and make a medicine check at advantage. And your DC is only 10, but I want to know how much you make it by.
You're relying on Adrex's rolls.
No, you passed.
On the money.
All
No,
right.
you got 11.
So
Plus
11.
1.
Yeah,
11?
that's right. Plus 1. 11.
A couple of these halflings, I mean, you guys watched a couple of these halflings be bitten multiple times by these snakes, are beyond your aid. There's nothing you can do for them. The venom just has worked way too quickly. But you're able to work swiftly enough to save most of the other ones. So 3 halflings die over the course of the night. They don't make it until morning. Of the ones remaining that have been bitten, they do remain very sick for at least the next couple of days. What do you guys spend? How do you guys spend the next couple of days? Now that the majority of the danger has passed.
I mean, I want to get a rope and work my way down this crevasse.
Okay.
I'm going to make up some lime and then mortar over one of the basements so that the wounded have somewhere dry to rest.
Okay. Is Red the only one going down into the crack?
Raazu will go with them.
Birdie would go too.
Okay, so where are you guys entering the crack? The biggest part of the earth that's broken is under these 2 houses, both of which are demolished. Most of the water draining only also gives you access from what is now a broken well in the center of town here.
I think
Probably
the
the
well.
broken well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down the well.
Okay.
Adrex, it depends on how much of the injured or wounded need to be continually treated.
They would need
Oh,
you to
thank you.
continue tending them.
Then that's what I do.
Okay, and Wendy's assisting because Adrix is like, I need this herb, I need that herb, and she can just fly off and grab it real quick. Also, Wendy's trained in medicine too, isn't she?
No, just herbalism kit.
Herbalism, that's right. When you guys go down into the well, first of all of the standing water in the well has now seeped away. You see where the earthquake has destroyed the stone structure at the bottom of the well, and the water has seeped deep into the earth. And you see this crack lead down further into darkness. You find down there, however, first of all, the bodies of many dead snakes, right? That fit the descriptions of the ones that you've been seeing as you travel. And you see kind of conduits around the earth, rivulets of water that stretch out in many different directions that these snakes may have used to travel long distances unseen. And you find an object. Birdie, it actually catches your eye before the other two. It looks like a small leather drum. And it's broken and it's battered. The leather has been torn aside and it looks like it's cracked on one side. Looking around, you don't see a drumstick or anything to actually strike it with.
Maybe you just struck it with the hands then?
Hey, Brick, before I go down, I'm going to make a show of lighting a torch and dropping it down below me.
Okay. And when you drop a torch, there's no standing water anymore, but the earth is still sodden enough that if you leave a torch laying there, you risk it sputtering and dying.
Oh, I don't need it once I'm underground. I just want to make a show of lighting the torch before I go in.
Right.
So blind.
He's so unable to see down here, yeah.
So yeah, you can follow the crack west deeper into the village. And it's definitely not a naturally occurring quake. Like something definitely caused it. But magic's not real, so you have no idea what it might have been. Other than that, there's no other clues down here, and there's no sign that there's another one of these creatures.
Does Birdie's gonna like look at the walls of the? I guess it's like more of a crevasse, like a narrow crack. Like how in danger is the village of just falling into this as a sinkhole?
The danger in the next coming couple of days or maybe weeks could be extreme if it stays as rainy as it's been. Because over the course of the next days or weeks, the mud is going to start sliding into this crack. And if they're not mindful of it, they might lose several houses in the village.
So I'll need to advise them to basically stay out of the west end of the village for the time being.
Are there any normal-sized snakes down here?
Until the rain
Yes.
subsides.
You see the dead bodies of only normal-sized snakes, the kind that you've been seeing, the semi-aquatic ones traveling. You don't see any giant ones, though, like the ones you were fighting.
Are there any that are alive still?
No, they're all dead.
Okay.
They're all dead, and picking them over, they're all also drained of both blood and venom.
We've been through.
I don't know what would do this kind of a thing.
Me either.
So what's next?
Can we brace the? Do they have enough? I don't know. They have the stuff to brace their cellars with. I had to think of the word there. Their cellars a little bit. Do they have the stuff to brace this area down here so their whole village doesn't collapse?
There's probably not much they can do from an architectural standpoint, except be aware of the extent of the damage.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, abandon the west side of the village for probably a couple of weeks just to see how things settle in.
Yeah, if they're aware of the danger of sinkholes in the near future, they'll be able to navigate their way through pretty well. It's just a matter of, somebody has to go down and survey the extent of the damage so they can let them know what it is, and you guys have already done that.
Yeah. So Raazu will climb out and find the elder gentleman and tell him what we found down there and how bad it is.
Okay. And Red and Birdie, are you leaving as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's leaving last?
Probably Red.
Okay.
Grabbing the torch.
Red, as you go to pick up your torch, you see the glint of something in the mud.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a metallic glint. catching the light of the fire of your torch. And going over to the area, there are stones here that have collapsed from the top of the well. And underneath them, you find a single gold piece. It's marked on one side with a visage, an extremely terrible creature that you've never seen before, with great horns and just this vicious grin.
Nah, we already have enough treasure.
And you flick the gold piece back in the mud. The halflings count their dead at 3, which is really good, all things considered. One of the watchtowers to the south, they actually took down 2 of these snakes with arrows from above. They were coming up out of the water. The other watchtowers noticed some snakes, but they were too far away from the village. So over the course of the next couple days, there are hunting parties, basically, going out into the countryside, just surrounding the village, where you find a couple more of these giant snakes that seem bewildered, confused, as though released from some kind of control. And are very easy to slay. You make the halflings aware of the perils that face their village in the coming days, with sinkholes appearing. Wendy, you work tirelessly to show them the techniques to shore up their basements, putting your masonry knowledge to work. You're able to figure out which houses are in most danger. The families have no difficulty battening together to weather out the storm. And it doesn't rain again the entire time you guys remain in the village. And so the question becomes, what's next for the 5 of you when it comes time to leave Lesser Hedgehog Pastures? Now that you've seen this tremendously bizarre and evil thing happen in this quaint and idyllic little village.
I think we hunt it down. Find out what could have caused it.
Alright, so it was windy is what you prefer in common?
No, the pattern which is formed as the wind blows over the sand.
So windy,
That's
yes.
too long. That's too long.
The pattern.
The pattern which is formed.
In the heat of battle, that's going to be too long.
Should I shorten it to pattern? Which would be less offensive to you? Would it be shortening it to pattern?
Pattern sounds good.
You created a time paradox.
Alright, so pattern.
Yeah.
Start from the beginning about the star and doing good again?
Well, I mean, it worked out, right?
Right.
I'll call the star up. I'll let you know.
I'm not calling you pattern. That's so, I don't know, unfriendly.
I mean, you're calling me by a color. Why can't you call her by formation?
We could call you Star. That's the other half of it, right?
No. Red's my name.
Oh, I just assumed.
I'm not good at whistling it. You're Windy. And why are you Birdie? She's the bird. This makes no sense.
Birdie looks at Adrex very seriously and says, my mother wanted an to be born. She was very disappointed.
Is that how that works?
Birdie nods. Yes. Says, you're a dragon. You should know this.
I'm not technically a dragon. Let's not get into the specifics.
Yes.
If you want to think I'm a dragon, okay. I won't argue, but I'm not really a...
On the scale of not dragon to dragon, you're the most dragon person here. So by Kobold law, I have to follow you.
Okay. I could use a sidekick. Not gonna lie. I've thought about it.
Now you just need a theme song. And so the 5 of you make the decision to leave together and save the world. And the good news is, you earn enough experience points fighting those snakes and monsters and things to advance to level 1.
Yay!
Oh,
Awesome.
sweet. Guys, at level 1, I get the ability to use martial art every turn, so I don't have to roll that freaking dice.
And Raazu wants to conquer the planet now.
I'd like to actually multi-class and be a level 0 sorcerer, level 0 rogue.
Why don't you just dual class? You're a human.
I guess that's another
about
question.
that.
At one point, do they learn that Red is not a human?
Well, probably once we're out of the village.
It's like, oh, yeah.
Probably, a few days later.
By the way, guys, I know we just killed all those snake monsters and stuff, so,
Oh my god, they turned you into a snake!
Yeah.
I like to think that Adrex has just believed that the entire campaign.
Every time we run into snakes, he's like super, super leery that they'll like pass on like snake to him, like vampirism.
Wendy explains to Adrex he's already snake-like enough that it won't work on him.
Yeah, if you have any degree of scales, it doesn't work.
And now, at long last, we finally know the first adventure that got this group together. And it just so happens we also know the last adventure and how it all ends, which is very convenient.
Wendy did her best to die at the start and the end. Close circle.
I had designed this adventure a long time ago, and because I knew I wanted to run this prequel adventure. I tried like 8 different ways to come up with this idea of like, okay, nobody's allowed to die in the adventure, clearly.
Clearly.
So the idea was like, I wanted, like, if somebody dies, drops to 0 hit points, fails all their death saves or whatever, I wanted one of the other heroes to step in and tell me why that didn't happen, like what prevented the time paradox. I tried really hard to set up the adventure so that it would happen at least once to everyone, like everybody would get an opportunity to save someone else, but I couldn't think of an organic way to do it that didn't just feel created. So I'm like, all right, we're just going to throw these monsters and we'll just see what happens. So I'm glad it happened at least a couple times. That was good.
Yeah.
Happened at least a couple times to Wendy.
I actually just Raazu and Wendy, right?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Adrex and Birdie got so. Okay.
I mean, it's kind of appropriate that my character gets jobbed, so it's been a tradition, so.
And your characters always have a home at Lesser Hedgehog Pastures, should you ever choose to return, which I guess you never did.
Nope.
It's literally a hole.
Now it's least Hedgehog Pastures.
Doesn't it go lesser, lessest, less most?
Less most.
You only learn less most at like 35.
Oh, okay. Is it random, like, depending on your job? It might be like 35 to 37.
Wow. Ow. That hurts. I'm upset now.
Hashtag triggered. So there's still one lingering question about this campaign, though.
I can't think of anything.
How does the world end with Mammon able to eat everything now?
I know, and you guys don't have any characters anymore, so when we reconvene next week, we'll all just sit here for 4 hours while I describe in great detail what Mammon is able to do now that nobody's around to stand against him. And it's going to be really fun and indulgent for me, and attendance is mandatory for all players. I'm going to need you guys to not plug in your microphones. You guys don't need to talk at all.
Look, Captain Eyes has this. He's got an entire army. He has a portal. He has gnomish airships.
I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't even be mad if you did that.
Don't.
Just you talking for more hours.
I would be kind of...
Don't encourage him.
Don't worry,
I
guys.
would be upset.
If the place gets bad enough, Ferocity will just show up and save everyone.
So, I'm also going to need all of you to plug in your webcam, but not your microphone. I just want to see your faces as I go through this process.
It's probably going to be a lot of birdie motions and rolling of eyes, probably.
And
Dude, joke's on you. I would get a cardboard cutout of me and just put it in the camera.
so, whoever's face turns the most shades of red over the course of this process wins.
Oh
No,
so
Red's
you don't
not
even
allowed
have
to talk.
You don't have to. It's me. It's me. It's going to be me, Burkra.
I think
Let's be
you're
real.
you're gonna pass red and go straight to purple. I think. But there will be Flumph next week. Is my point.
New campaign. Roll it out.
Yeah, session 0. Here we go.
Yeah, session 0, new campaign. Thank you guys
Jump
for
right
playing.
in it.
This was I know this was like a really weird and experimental kind of adventure. I've been wanting to do an adventure like this for years, because as a DM, less so as a player. As a player, I don't mind it as much, but as a DM, I really hate the standard D&D. Here's 5 people that don't know each other in a village. How do you guys meet? Because it's always weird and awkward. And
Yeah, it's terrible.
the players always kind of get into these like dick measuring contests, like, oh, my player is this special. Oh, but my character is this special. So this campaign, we started kind of like in media res. You guys were already together and on an adventure.
Yeah.
But flashing back after, what's it been, Treble? 60 some?
This is the 68th session.
Okay. Doing this, how does everybody meet and get together, and what's the first adventure like after everybody already knows each other's characters really well? I've always wanted to kind of try this out and see how this worked, and I kind of liked it. I thought it was interesting.
There's been nothing but like constant inside jokes, so that was good.
Definitely
Flumph of the
amusing for
Wild
me.
Origins.
Right. All right, so when we come back next week, literally nobody but me knows what's going to happen.
It's basically post-shadowing.
Yeah.
I guess we did do the standard nobody knows each other intro with Flumphscape. We started that, nobody knew each other, and it was a little awkward at first, but you all got into it, though.
I thought it was great.
I thought, yeah, no, I mean,
Riot
like,
stuck up Kilian. That was
well, yeah, no,
fantastic.
Riot stuck up Kilian, and then Mahogany tried to burn his house down.
So, I wish I could say that's the first time I've run a D&D campaign where the players didn't know each other yet, and one of them tried to burn another's house down.
I don't think I tried.
Well, no, a Cypher wouldn't try. They just did it.
Cypher didn't try it. Cypher just goes and does it.
So, once Flumph of the Wild is done, which next week is probably the finale, 4 hours of me talking, as we've established,
Yep.
McDohl is going to run a few weeks of, what's the adventure called?
It's called Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
Okay.
It's going to be set in the Forgotten Realms, and
We don't know who all is going to be playing that yet, but we will
Yeah.
finalize that. We'll figure it out. I will definitely be playing. It'll be a nice change of pace for me.
So,
Where does it take place?
Water.
some shitty city no one's ever heard of.
Waterdorp?
Yeah. You know, that board game.
So that's going to do it for us, guys. I want to thank everybody for watching and hanging out tonight. We're very close to the end of this campaign. Finally. Worst campaign ever. I'll see everybody next Sunday.